Shedeur, all of us keep getting asked the same question, and none of us had the answer, so maybe you could give us the answer. Why aren't you getting any reps with the ones at any point?
I don't think that's not my place, to answer, to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control. So I'm not even gonna think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is, it is. But it doesn't make me feel down, or it doesn't make me feel left out or anything, because I know who I am as a person, I know who I am as an individual, and I know what I could bring to this team. So I can never feel less than.
Don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin talk about that moment. The one that's been replayed across social media 1,000 times already. A reporter corners Shedeur Sanders with a loaded question, asking him why he hasn't gotten any reps with the first team. It was the kind of question designed to stir the pot, to get a frustrated soundbite that they could turn into headlines. And how does Shedeur respond? With pure composure. I don't think that's my place to answer. It's not in my control, so I'm not even going to think about that. That wasn't just a rookie giving a safe answer. That was calculated. That was a young quarterback looking everyone in the eye and saying, "You're not going to rattle me. I know exactly who I am, and no depth chart politics are going to change that." It was classy, but make no mistake. It was a shot across the bow of the Browns coaching staff, and everyone in that building knew it. This is what separates Shedeur from so many young quarterbacks who've come through Cleveland. He refuses to play the victim. Think about the chaos this organization has put quarterbacks through. 35 different starters since 2000, coaching changes, systems that don't last, promises that are broken as fast as they're made. And yet, here's a 22-year-old rookie sitting in front of cameras, completely unfazed, refusing to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing him sweat. He didn't lash out. He didn't fold. He didn't give the Browns a single excuse to label him immature or uncoachable. Instead, he showed the kind of poise that even veterans struggle to muster in moments like that. And this is bigger than just a soundbite. Because what Shedeur did in that moment wasn't just about answering a question. It was about sending a message to Kevin Stefanski, to the front office, to his teammates. You can limit my reps, but you can't limit my impact. You can bury me on the depth chart, but I won't be buried in this locker room. That's what leadership looks like. Quiet, steady, unshaken. And believe me, the guys in that room noticed. That one answer turned Shedeur from just another rookie quarterback into someone the locker room can rally behind. Cleveland can't ignore this anymore. They can pretend this is just another camp story, just another rookie learning the ropes, but deep down, they know that wasn't a rookie response. That was a leader's response. That was a quarterback who understands the game being played around him and refuses to get dragged into it. And if you think that doesn't matter, you don't understand how locker rooms work. That's how trust is built. That's how a rookie earns respect without even taking a first-team snap. And that's why this story isn't just about practice reps or press conferences. It's about a young quarterback who's changing the narrative in Cleveland and doing it without throwing a single punch back at the people trying to hold him down. But here's the real question. How long can the Browns keep ignoring a player who's already acting like the face of the franchise? If you're just glancing at the Browns' depth chart, you'd think everything makes sense. Joe Flacco on top? Of course. He's the grizzled vet, the bridge quarterback, the safe hands that every coaching staff leans on when they're terrified of rocking the boat. Then you've got Kenny Pickett, the reclamation project, a former first-rounder Pittsburgh gave up on, a guy this front office wants to prove they can fix. After that, Gabriel, a developmental rookie, a long-term experiment who can sit quietly at the bottom of the chart while the others fight for meaningful snaps. And finally, Shedeur Sanders, the fifth-round pick, the Coach Prime's son narrative guy, supposedly just here to watch and learn. On paper, it tracks. But here's the thing. When you actually look at what's happening on the field, this entire hierarchy starts to look ridiculous. Because if reps were earned based on performance, Shedeur would already be climbing. You want to know what this kid did the moment he got real work in pads? He went 9 for 9 with 2 touchdowns in his first full padded practice. 0 picks, 0 wasted throws. And that wasn't against air. That was in the hungry dogs period, where every snap is full speed and every rep matters. And while he was stacking those clean days, Dylan Gabriel, the guy drafted 2 rounds higher, was out there throwing interception after interception, looking like he couldn't even see over his line. That's not me making things up. That's been the reality of camp. So why isn't Shedeur moving up? Why is the guy delivering the most efficient performances still running with the threes? This is where it gets frustrating, because this isn't about talent anymore. This is about politics, the unspoken rules of NFL depth charts. Veterans get favoritism. Draft status buys you patience. And rookies without advocates, they stay buried, no matter how well they play. That's exactly what Louis Riddick has been talking about for years. Players need champions in the building. Someone in those meetings pounding the table saying, "This kid deserves a shot. This kid needs real reps." And right now, it doesn't look like Shedeur has that person in Berea. So what is this really? Is it cautious development, as the team will probably tell us, or is it intentional suppression? Because let's not kid ourselves. Keeping Shedeur buried on the third team, throwing to practice squad receivers, limits his growth. It limits his chemistry with real playmakers. It limits his ability to prove he's more than just a name on a draft card. And the longer this continues, the more it feels like the Browns aren't protecting him. They're hiding him. But here's the thing about talent like this. You can't hide it forever. The preseason is coming. Live snaps. Real defenses. And if Shedeur lights it up under those lights like he has in practice, then Cleveland's excuses vanish overnight. And so does the justification for keeping him buried. There's a Kevin Stefanski problem in Cleveland. And I'm not saying that lightly. When you watch what's happening with Shedeur Sanders, when you see how he's delivering in practice and still getting buried, you have to start asking, is this about football or is this about ego? Because Stefanski has been around this league long enough to know talent when he sees it. He knows what a quarterback who can change a franchise looks like. And yet, somehow, Shedeur, a kid with one of the cleanest camps of any rookie QB, is still being treated like a disposable fifth-round project. That doesn't add up. So what's really going on here? Is Stefanski protecting his veterans? Is he scared to bench the guys who are safe, like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett? Or is this about protecting himself, keeping the depth chart predictable, avoiding headlines, avoiding the chaos that comes with giving a rookie phenom real reps? Because if we're being honest, Shedeur isn't just another rookie. He's a threat to the system. He's young, talented, popular, and, here's the kicker, he doesn't need the Browns' validation to matter. That kind of player? Coaches can't control him with politics, and that terrifies people like Stefanski. But this isn't new for Cleveland. This team has been doing this for decades. Since 2000, they've started over 35 different quarterbacks. 35. It's been a revolving door of mismanagement, bad decisions, and wasted potential. Every time they've had a chance to do something bold, they've played it safe. And safe has gotten them what? More losing seasons, more frustration, more mediocrity. And now, here they are again, with a chance to give a dynamic young quarterback a real opportunity. And they're falling back into the same pattern. We've seen this story before, though, haven't we? Russell Wilson in Seattle, Jalen Hurts in Philly. Both were written off early. Both were buried behind safer options. And both forced their way onto the field because their talent couldn't be ignored. That's where Shedeur is right now. He's the uncomfortable truth in that quarterback room. The player who makes everyone else look replaceable. And instead of embracing it, Stefanski looks like he's trying to delay the inevitable. But here's the thing about inevitable. It always comes. Stefanski can keep Shedeur buried for now. He can keep giving excuses about development and patience. But if Shedeur keeps stacking days, keeps winning the respect of that locker room, keeps outplaying the guys ahead of him, the Browns won't just have a quarterback controversy. They'll have a reckoning. And if Stefanski keeps fighting it instead of embracing it, he might not be around long enough to see what Shedeur can really do. Some players are built for the spotlight. Others are built for the fire. And watching Shedeur Sanders these past few weeks, I can tell you, this kid is built for the fire. It's one thing to show up to camp with hype around your name. It's another to live up to it when the lights are off, the reps are limited, and the organization seems hell-bent on keeping you buried. But Shedeur? He hasn't flinched. He hasn't complained. He hasn't let the noise get to him. Instead, he's done exactly what champions do. He's turned every ounce of disrespect into fuel. Reports out of camp say he's mastered 98% of the Browns' playbook already. 98%. For a rookie quarterback, that's unheard of. That's not just knowing the formations and base installs. That's protections, audibles, situational adjustments, stuff most guys don't even sniff until year 2. And he's doing it while arriving 40 minutes before practice, staying 40 minutes after, putting in work while other players are hitting the showers. That's not just talent. That's obsession. That's a young quarterback preparing like he's the starter, even while they try to treat him like an afterthought. But here's what really sets him apart. It's not just the grind, it's the humility. Think about this. When Shedeur Sanders, his father, his mentor, the man who shaped his entire football journey, wanted to visit him at camp, Shedeur told him not to come. Not because he didn't want the support, because he knew his dad's presence would turn everything into a circus. He wanted camp to stay about the work, not the headlines. That's maturity beyond his years. That's a young man who understands that if you want respect in this league, you earn it with sweat, not with your last name. And then there's the moment that really told me everything I needed to know about his character. After practice, veteran linebacker Jerome Baker is talking to the media. Reporters start drifting towards Shedeur, the shiny new rookie. And what does he do? He refuses to start his session until they finish with Baker. Think about that. A rookie, the son of one of the biggest personalities in football, telling the PR team, "No, let the vet have his moment." That's respect. That's understanding the hierarchy of an NFL locker room. That's how you win over veterans, by showing them that you get it. And all of this is happening while Shedeur is carrying something most of us can't imagine. Knowing his father is quietly battling cancer. That's the weight on his shoulders, and yet he shows up every day composed, focused, locked in. That's resilience. That's leadership. That's what makes me believe this kid isn't just surviving camp. He's becoming the kind of cultural and locker room force that can change a franchise. This isn't Coach Prime's son anymore. This is Shedeur Sanders, his own man, his own leader, and maybe, just maybe, the Browns' future. They don't stay quiet for long. You can bury him on the depth chart. You can feed the media the same tired development narrative. You can let the politics of this organization play out behind closed doors. But eventually, talent forces its way to the surface. And when Shedeur finally gets his shot in preseason, oh, the reckoning is coming. Picture it. The lights are on, the cameras are rolling, and Shedeur isn't running with practice squad receivers anymore. He's throwing to real weapons against real NFL defenses. If what we've seen in camp holds true under those conditions, Stefanski won't just have a quarterback competition. He'll have a quarterback controversy on his hands. Because once this kid strings together a couple of live game drives, accurate throws, smart reads, moving the chains like a seasoned vet, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. Browns fans will see it. The locker room will feel it. And suddenly, the coaching staff won't be protecting the plan. They'll be protecting their jobs. And this isn't just about Shedeur proving he can play. This is about exposing the truth, about shining a light on the politics that have been holding him back. You think fans won't rally when they realize their rookie QB, the one they've been told to be patient with, to wait on, is actually ready right now? You think that locker room won't start buzzing when the guy who's been quietly outworking everyone proves he's the real deal? This is how movements start. Not with one big headline, but with a young quarterback stepping onto the field and making it impossible for anyone to deny what's been obvious all along. Because Shedeur's journey? It's bigger than football. This isn't just about depth charts or playbooks. This is about perseverance. About a kid who's had every reason to crumble under the weight of expectation and politics, but refuses to. It's about truth cutting through the noise. It's about a player who was supposed to wait his turn, daring to take control of his narrative. So here's my question to you, Browns fans. Are you ready? Are you ready to stand behind the quarterback your own organization doesn't want you to believe in? Are you ready to demand more than safe decisions and recycled excuses? Because if Shedeur shines when it counts, this fan base will have the power to force change. And when that moment comes, when the talent, the preparation, and the opportunity finally collide, we won't just be talking about a rookie quarterback making his debut. We'll be witnessing the birth of a new era in Cleveland. The question is, will this franchise embrace it?